If you in the last year, 6 months, 3 months, 2 months, whatever, if you have had periods in your life in which you felt broken down, depressed, tired, sluggish, apathetic, just unhappy, I want to say congratulations. You are going through a period of growth. You know, it's weird, man. In life, we always like to, associate growth with, happiness, your vibration raising, and you're progressing, you're getting results, you're achieving. We like to equate that with growth. But in many cases in life, the real growth periods are the periods in which you're a seed and you're planted in the soil and you're in darkness and you feel isolated, you feel alone, and you have to go through things alone. You have to break through you have to break through the ground on your own. And, in the last year, man, this has probably been one of the most challenging years of my life. You'll see that I've been on and off with YouTube. I'll go for, 4 months hard. So I'm going through that, that period where I'm thinking that I'm growing, and I was growing in that time, but I was going through a period in which, I'm achieving, I'm getting results, I'm creating, I'm doing all of this, these great things. And I chalk that up to growth, and I'm happy, I'm proud of myself. And then, as I asked the universe for more, I asked God for more, I asked God to build me up more, all of a sudden, I crash. And next thing you know, I'm not creating anymore. And I'm not doing, things don't look like the way I want them to look like, And I'll begin to get down on myself. And then I'll spiral into this place in which, once again, I find myself being a seed in that darkness, and I feel a little bit isolated, alone. Thoughts aren't the same, and I'm just not getting all the results and achieving the way I want to achieve. And we'll chalk that up, and we'll down ourselves, and we're saying we're not growing. I'm off my path. But in hindsight, looking back at all those things, man, I realized that those periods are the periods in which I'm growing so fast, it's unbelievable. To me, in my experience, life is this up and down roller coaster that I call calibration. We're calibrating, we're accumulating data. When you're in depression and you're going through those times where you're feeling like you're being broke down, that's you calibrating. That's you accumulating data. That's you getting, intel on things that you don't prefer, right? So, obviously when, we're going through those rough times, you don't prefer that, right? You don't want that. You want to achieve. You want to be, in this happy-go-lucky state in which you're, achieving. And, what I found, man, is all that stuff is great, but looking back on it, man, I've learned so much about myself, about the human condition. I've learned a lot about society. I've learned a lot about how emotions and thoughts work. And it's those periods that have made me strong. And so that when the script flips once again, that 4-month period that I had a while back where I was sprinting and creating and my vibration was raising and raising, now next time that comes around, I'll be much more prepared. I'll have a good vision of what I don't want, and I'll be able to, move forward in a way in which I have all this fuel behind me. I have all this experience behind me. I have all these lessons behind me in which I can work with now. All the wisdom and stuff that I've shared with you guys over the years on this channel, all that stuff has sprouted out of those places of darkness, out of those, and darkness isn't this bad thing, out of this place of, going inside and, experiencing the yin. Life is yin and yang, man. And I just want to encourage you in this video, man, that, if you've been going through it like I have, don't be as hard on yourself as I was on myself, Take some time to reflect and realize that it's necessary. I promise you, it's necessary. And so while you're in that state, while you're in that depressed state, y'all, and you're going through it, reflect and really observe yourself. Observe those thoughts, observe those things that pop up in your mind that, you don't prefer. And take note of that. And when the time is right, when you've had enough, when you've got your fill, and you flip the script, really apply what you now know. And once you get into that application process and you make those steps forward, and one step turns into two steps turns into four, and four turns into 10 turns into 50, and 50 turns into 1,000 steps, you now have momentum that is so strong that, the kind of progress and stuff that you want to experience, the kind of achievement you want to experience is going to be sweet. It's going to be grounded. It's going to be, filled with wisdom, and you're going to be able to, make moves in your life in this really awesome, beautiful way. That's life, man. If you want to rocket ship, if you want to rocket, if you want to grow, if you want to, launch, there's going to be a time where you're going to have to be broken down. And when you're broken down and all the pieces are on the table, you get to analyze this and you get to recreate this machine. And so in this time frame, I went through a really, a pretty long depression, a slump where I got to see all these aspects of myself. And I realized that in order for me not to be in this place, there's a few things that are completely necessary. There's habits, and there's a few things in your life in which you have to put your feet down and you have to root yourself in those life principles. One of the main ones that I observed and I'm applying to my life now is taking care of my body and really exercising and hitting the gym, doing yoga, eating properly, man. Those things, if you can do that right there alone, if you can, really root yourself in a healthy lifestyle, depression is going to be something that's far outside of your realm of experience. And your depression states, your breakdown periods are going to look different, and they're not going to be as harsh. You're not going to suffer as much. The body is your best friend. Your body is your home. And so, just kind of going on a rant, man, and just sharing what I've learned in these slower times in my personal evolution. One of the main things that I've taken away from all of this is the importance of taking care of your body and exercising that willpower muscle through exercise and through eating right. There's this book called Outwitting the Devil that I highly recommend if you guys haven't, if you haven't read it. It's by Napoleon Hill. Read that book. Check it out. There's this chapter on self-discipline, self-mastery, and to me, more so than being happy all the time and being happy-go-lucky and high vibrational, now it's become more of a, as I've matured and aged, now it's more so about doing the right things, disciplining myself, and being able to do those things regardless of whether I feel like doing them or not, right? Rooting myself in key categories, key principles that allow me to grow as a person. And one of those things is the gym. But in that book, I'm tangenting, in that book they talk about, in that chapter of self-mastery, there's 3 things that if you can master, there's 3 things that each human does, that if you can master these 3 things, you'll master every aspect of your life. The first one is your diet, the foods that you put into your body. If you can discipline that discipline will carry over into so many different aspects of your life. The second one is your expression of sex. If you're not loosely expressing sex, right? Guys, if you're always busted, and you're spilling so much prana, if you can't get a discipline over that, if you can't get mastery over that, you're not going to get mastery over anything in life, because that's where your creative force is. And the third one is loosely expressed opinions, right? Not being impeccable with your word. Your word is one of the most creative things in life. If you can get a mastery over what you speak into existence, then that will bring a new element of discipline into your life. So it's food, your sexual expression, and your word. If you can master those things, if you're in a depressed state right now, just focus on those 3 things. And you can even link exercise to food, right? Health, if you can get a mastery over those 3 things, you'll find that your depression will subside, because depression most of the time is a result of not being integral with yourself, right? It's not having your feet firmly rooted on the ground in the present moment. Because if you were truly here, and you were grounded and you were whole in this moment, you'll find a peace. You'll find a peace. You'll find a happiness. You'll find a contentment. And so firmly root yourself in good habits revolving around food, good habits revolving around sex, and good habits revolving around, expressing your word. And you'll find that, depression, or those times, those anabolic times where you're being broken down, you'll find that it's a lot easier to move through them, and you won't have to be in them as long. So I mean, I'm going on a little bit of a rant here right now, but this is just very simple stuff that we all know, but it's hard to apply. And so sometimes in life you got to be broken down. You got to be in that place in which you're unhappy and you're not, you're depressed and you're just not having a good time with life. Sometimes you got to be there in order to really get a good idea, get a really good experiential idea of how important it is to do those, to have a good relationship with food, sex, and your word. Those are the three main things. And there's tons of other things in life, but those are the three main categories. Sometimes you got to go through it in order to get a really good, solid perspective and understanding for what's important in life and what will keep you healthy and vibrant. So that's been kind of the deal for me, man, in these last few months. And so much wisdom has been afforded to me because of these lower times in which I haven't been active on YouTube, not on Instagram, not on Facebook, because I really wanted to absorb what I was going through and get a really well-rounded, grounded perspective on all that stuff, man. And it's changed my life. I'm so grateful for those times. And so, if you're going through it right now, guys, go through it, experience what you're experiencing, but, observe, reflect, and then begin to step by step, day by day, just show up and start adjusting things in your life revolving around those areas. Because I bet if you're in a low state, one of those three categories is off. And just start with one. You don't have to start with all of them. Start with one. A lot of people, one of the main ones is your sex energy. Because nowadays we live in a society that's so highly sexualized. When I was 12 years old, man, I was introduced to porn, and I started jacking off and stuff, and spilling seed, and spilling that prana, and that is important. You need that for your creative energy. You need that to be just to be healthy and to be happy. That aspect of you is it's creative. You use that in your imagination. You use that in your heart. You use that in your power energy, your power center. And so, start there if you're feeling really imbalanced. I bet that stuff has had an impact on you. If that part is looking pretty good, check your food out. Adjust some things with your food. Cut out some sugar. Cut out, so much, all the BS, bread, whatever, Clean your gut out. Do a detoxification. Go get an enema. Go get a hydrotherapy done and flush out your colon and your intestines. It'll make a huge difference in the way your mood is affecting your brain and your thoughts and all that stuff. Adjust some things with your diet and your body and your exercise. And then if all that stuff is together, check what you're saying about yourself. What are you saying about the people around you? What are you saying about the world that you live in? What are you saying about yourself? Adjust those things, and you'll find that your thinking patterns shift, and your relationship with people around you and your relationship with, everything around you begins to shift when you stop sending those vibrations out into the world. Just kind of going on a rant here, man, but these are just, I just want to, just share, man, what, has been such major, learning points for me in my life. And, I just want to see y'all happy, man. I just want to see you growing and happy and, evolving. That's what it's all about, and living your best life. And, this is stuff that I had to learn the hard way. And it's okay. Sometimes learning the hard way is the best way to learn, because you remember that shit. But, yeah, just a big rant revolving around depression, man. And, going through hard times. If you're going through those hard times, really take into consideration what, I said there, observe, reflect, and then, you know, begin to adjust things in those few areas and watch things change. Things have changed so fast, you know. It's funny what a week or two of being consistent will do for somebody. And I just want to invite you and encourage you to, you know, make little steps, but do it consistently and watch things turn around, man. I'll just make a video just repeating those same things over and over and over again, because it's been the core, you know, the core of all of this stuff, man. So, you know, whatever your goals are, whether you're spiritual, mental, physical, financial, whatever, you can link all those things back to that discipline revolving around those three areas, and it'll change your entire life. So much love to you guys. I hope your day is going wonderfully, and y'all keep on, you know, evolving and growing. Leave a comment, you know, share with me what you guys been up to, you know, what you've been going through, what you've been struggling with, because, you know, depression sometimes is a little bit, you know, mucky, and there's, you know, little variables that need to be cleaned up, and sometimes you need to talk to somebody and you know, and figure that out, you know. And I'm doing my best to figure my stuff out and get my stuff together. You know, I'm not going to be super active on YouTube for a while, but I will check in here and there and share with you guys, you know, just life lessons. But yeah, that's it. Rant over. So y'all be easy, man. Until next time, much love.